Look, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and in this one, I guess we get to see the real heroic side of the character. So without giving too much away, what can you tell us?
Well, I guess what you know of Bard so far is that he's a father of 3 children. He's a widower. He's just a lowly bargeman who he's got his principles are in the right place. His moral compass is going the right way, and he's put in prison. He's put in a jail, and the town is evacuating, and he's helpless, and all he wants to do is protect his children, his family, the only thing that he has. And he does something incredible, almost superhuman. Yes. In a way. This is a man who is a very unlikely hero. He's not a man who's looking for any of that, the accolades of being a hero, or he doesn't want anybody to look at him and revere him. He just wants to look after his kids. And so what he does in the third film is nothing short of spectacular. And it's an admirable thing to see somebody who's not necessarily the man for the job, but the man who ends up doing the job and doing it well.
Very well. It did require a lot of physical training for you, so what are we talking about?
There was a lot of archery, there was a lot of rolling around on foam mats in a big freezing cold warehouse next to Wellington Airport for days on end. Lots of cuts and grazes and lots of knuckles bleeding, and a lot of that stuff that went on for the whole movie. It's and a lot of mental stuff, because when you turn a corner and you're being faced with 60 stuntmen in orc costumes with black blood and teeth and special lenses to make their eyes yellow and charging at you. I mean, half the battle is what's going on in your head and reminding yourself that they're not real. So.
Well, it does feel quite real when you're on sets like that. It kind of puts you in the mood for the whole saga, doesn't it?
Yeah, you try and have lunch opposite them. That's quite scary.
Yes, for them especially, trying to eat with that. What's really great about The Hobbit is that it's a series of microcosm stories making that big saga. So from an acting point of view, do you get excited about everything that's going on, or sometimes you just need to concentrate on your bit?
Well, I sort of you're aware of the story because obviously you have the script, so you know what else is being shot that you might not be part of. But in a way, you sort of have to let that happen without your control, so you just have to sort of focus on your journey and your storyline. And what's very nice about Bard's character that he intermingles with a lot of other characters in the film, which is quite lovely in a way. It's sort of, he's the lowly human character, but he ends up chatting and to Gandalf and the King of the Elves, and this you forget when you watch the third movie. I mean, even I forgot for a moment. This is the guy that we saw sailing in empty barrels at the beginning of the second film. This man has come a long way. It's an amazing achievement for just the lowly everyman, who's risen above the rest, not by choice, but by circumstance.
Yeah, he's a real reluctant hero, isn't he? Do you get, personally excited about that? Hobbits on a set, dwarves on a set, elves on a set, and just humans.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, it's very unusual. I'll probably never experience that again. It's, I think only in Middle-earth would you have all those different creatures all in one film, But it was always a very fun time on set, whether you were on the studio lot or whether you were in your trailer. The sights that you would see on a daily basis were, it's quite extraordinary. And it would be weird when I first arrived. I didn't recognize anybody because I'd meet them out of costume in the evening. The next day they'd be in costume and they'd be saying hello to you, but I didn't know they were. So it took quite a few weeks before that novelty sort of wore off, and then I knew who they were. But very unusual experience.
Yeah, exactly, it's like playing dress up on day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
so you do have
Guess who? More like, yeah.
From Peter Jackson, are you able to gauge now what he's most excited about in that whole saga?
I think he's excited about the whole thing. I think you can see he's had a lot of fun in this third movie. I mean, the battle itself is a huge part of the film, and it's as it should be. it's a very technical, complicated battle of 5 different entities all fighting, and it's done in a very clever way in which you understand the geography of the land that's being used in the film. It's not complicated to understand where they're coming from, and I think that's an amazing achievement, because it could get super complicated, but it works very, very well, and you can see this battle unfolding. You see the disasters waiting to happen, and it seems it took a lot of brain power to design those scenes and those fight sequences, and it's just a crazy journey from start to finish.
Yeah, and the actors still shine. They don't get drowned in all
Not
the
at all.
technological advancements, and this, I think, is an achievement in itself.
Absolutely, yeah. No one's drowned out by the CGI, which I think is in a film like this, it's an easy thing to happen, and the fact that it doesn't happen, and everybody gets their moment, everybody has their moment in the film and their time to shine, I think is a beautiful thing.
Do you get excited about technology in itself? Obviously you're filming something and then it's looking extremely spectacular when it's the finished product.
Oh yeah, I mean, the opening of this third movie. You just remember that most of what I'm looking at isn't there. Actually, none of it was there. So that's an achievement in itself, to make it look like I was looking at that giant dragon and he wasn't actually there. He wasn't even designed when I shot that scene. That was the first scene I ever shot in the whole movie.
Tolkien, what does his literature mean to you? Were you a reader of his books?
I was, yeah. I mean, I'd read The Hobbit, and I'd attempted to read some of the Lord of the Rings, the big books. I just would like to think that if he was here today, he'd be very proud of what we've achieved with these films, and obviously the Lord of the Rings, and to see how the fans, these incredibly passionate people that follow these films. I stopped in this bar in the West End of London last night. We were told that there was a big congregation of fans who were dressed up, and they were all, they all hang out with each other. It's a big family affair, and I turned up and had gone in to say hello, and the energy and the love in that room, in that bar, was amazing. It was palpable, and you don't experience that on every movie. So it was very special experience.
And finally, I'm asking all the actors the same question. Will you sit down and watch all 6 in one go?
I was going to wait for a snowy, rainy, cold Sunday when I have nothing to do and I can wrap up in a duvet and a big bag of popcorn and watch the whole 6 back to back. Yes.